Boys and ladies, welcome back. We have another video from Joshua Weisman today, and we are debating who has the best breakfast. If you like videos like these, smash like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe to yourself. Self-love is important these days. Not gonna waste any more time. Let's get into the video.
I'm a believer that breakfast is one
And I fucked up the audio. Hold on, pause. Okay, we're back.
of the greatest meals of all time. And that's why today I'm on a mission to
Facts.
find the best breakfast in the world. Viewers from
Best
all over the
brekkie.
globe submitted their favorite breakfasts from their representative countries, and
Here's the problem though. The US is massively diverse. So it's a very subjective thing on like what people's favorite breakfast is. So it could be something as simple as a stack of pancakes, which is not a good showing for us here in the US. And then we have our own version of a full English, um, which is like less veggies and more meats. But I don't know. Full English is elite though. I've had a full English. It's so good.
thousands of votes later, the results are in, and we're left with a top 12 that come together to meet today in one insane battle. The top 4 most popular dishes will have earned a bye, while the remaining 8 will compete for their chance to move on through the tournament.
All
The
right.
world's most beloved breakfasts are going to battle, and we will find our champion.
Was that just a lone croissant? That's some depressing ass shit, you know.
Starting with our first matchup, Ireland versus the Philippines.
Ooh. Oh, this is 100% the Philippines right here.
Philippines with long silog. It's garlic fried rice, topped beautifully with a generous amount of fried garlic, longanisa, fried egg. Our favorite Filipino chef Christian said to serve with sliced tomatoes, seasoned with fish sauce. And the commenters in our Filipino versus American breakfast called for achara, pickled papaya, and separately a dipping sauce made with cane vinegar and soy sauce. You know, to cut the richness of all that.
I ain't gonna lie, dude. That looks good. I'm not a fan of veggies, but damn, that looks good.
Garlicky fried rice and pork. Next up, Ireland with the full Irish.
Ooh. Let's see. We got some mushrooms here. We got some sausage. We got, what is that, blood pudding right there, looks like. Bacon. Was that pancake right here underneath this? Or is that potatoes? I don't know. Oh, it's literally almost exactly like the, okay.
Breakfast. You've been asking for this for a long time. It's very simple. Black and white pudding, bangers, rashers, baked beans, fried eggs, fried tomato, boxed tea, and mushrooms. And we even
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Ireland wins. Mhm. Oh, Ireland wins when it comes to the full English. They got mushrooms. I love mushrooms. They got mushrooms. They got whatever this is over here. Looks like some jam, some butter. Oh, I've never had white pudding. Don't know what that is. Black pudding, I've had it. White pudding, don't know.
got soda bread served on the side with marmalade and butter. We ain't fing around, brother. Our guest
Oh,
taste tester today is David Douglas. He is an Austin legend known for trying all of the greatest restaurants and telling people all about it on Instagram. And of course, Quince
he's a food reviewer. Oh yeah, he's on Yelp doing his food reviews.
Bickwam, director and seasoned channel taste tester. Two unlikely competitors, the Philippines versus Ireland. Honestly, these are really
That's such a weird mix. Because one of them is probably going to be like way more savory than the other. It really depends. Like if you're a big carnivore guy, then Ireland wins hands down. But if you like a bit more like variety of taste in your food, then you're definitely going to go with the Filipino dish. Oh man.
strong contenders. I don't even know where to begin.
I want to go Philippines.
I can't even say anything. I want to just keep eating it. That rice is incredible. Longanisa is incredible. It's just a great combination of
I'm
things.
busting.
That makes 2 bucks.
The rice, unbelievably garlicky, but not overwhelmingly so. It's almost more of a fragrance than it is like some sort of blast in your face. Longanisa is fantastic. It's sweet, it's salty, it's umami. Fried egg only makes a beautiful sauce with crispness. All the accoutrement, it's wonderful.
There's so
Man.
many different flavors and textures, and they all go so well together. And individually, each bite is incredible. No matter which component you taste, there's nothing to not enjoy. It's great.
When Flavor Town was founded, this is what
I feel like okay, so I feel like The Philippines might take an underdog win here because it's so unique and it's not something that you have. Some people will never have this in their life at all, ever. Um, in well, I say some people, but most people probably won't have this ever in their life. But you probably will have like something close to the full English. So, damn, that's tough. It might win just out of the fact that it's not something that you would normally have.
They had in mind. They wanted that garlic, they wanted the sausage, they wanted these town members coming together to form a sort of a town. Maybe a town of flavor, you could call it.
Okay,
Flavor
I wrote
Town.
Lind. I don't even know where to begin with this.
I know where I'm beginning. Soda, me, bread.
That's what I'm thinking too.
For me, this one has the variety going for it. It's kind of a playground for you to dip, dive, dunk.
I can't stop eating. I keep
Dip,
eating something and
dive,
I go
dunk.
back for something else. It's all great flavors, all combined into one amazing plate that I thought would be a bit too much. I thought there's too many different components, but all of them work really well together. Even the Filipino one, same thing. It's hard.
I'm hard. This is really hard. It's voting time. 1, 2, 3.
Unanimous.
Wow. Ireland, I'm really sorry. It's so tasty.
I thought this would happen. I called that shit. It's just so unique, and I guarantee it tastes good because if it looks that good just off on the screen, then it 100% probably tastes 1,000 times better than it looks.
The unanimous vote, it doesn't represent how close these were for me, but I think we all put the slight edge to the Philippines.
Moving on. The Philippines moves on powerfully to the next round to face Mexico. But first we head to our next
Mexico,
round 1 matchup,
okay.
France versus Colombia. Colombia with arepa con huevos.
Already Colombia is gonna win. I mean, it looks like vomit. I ain't gonna lie, but it at least probably has like a good mix of flavor.
Never had this before, and I gotta say, these are two things that I love, so I have a feeling this is a strong contender. 2 pan of sauteed tomato and green onion, add eggs, seasoned taste with salt, and
Oh, never mind. I can't have it. It's got onion. God damn it. I have to make it without.
stir until soft scrambled. Serve with a hand-formed fried white corn arepa. Crispy on the outside, but tender, chewy, almost voluptuous on the inside. And enjoy. France with the croissant. I mean, we know what this is, right?
What? This isn't even a competition.
Butter and dough, rolled into multiple layers, and once cut and baked, crispy, airy pastries that make me want to...
You know, the funny thing is, when I was younger, and I'm sure there's plenty other Americans who are going to agree with this. As we've gotten older, we just learn more and more that France is not the place that everybody has made it out to be, and French people are not like they don't act the way that we've made it out to be. It's probably the same way as like other countries see Americans until they actually come to America and then their worldview gets shattered. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts. Well, I don't know. Maybe they might know Americans a little bit more than we know them. But oh, by the way, what the fuck is going on with Bro's fingers here? They are torn the fuck up. I mean, torn up. Holy.
Want to take my socks off and wiggle my little piggies.
I think we should start with France because it's the simplest. You can dip them into a cappuccino if you want, or eat them by themselves. This is a
That's
good
just
croissant.
The butter
it's just depressing, bro. It's so depressing.
is buttering.
Nice, crispy, airy, all the qualities of a good croissant, and I think a good breakfast as well.
So crispy.
Part of me does want to Americanize the croissant and stuff it with other things.
The French would be appalled. Well, actually, the French are finally evolving a little bit. You know, it took them a while, but they're on their way.
God bless them. Every laugh I get out of Josh, he pays me another 5 nickels. I've got a whole dollar
Five
now.
nickels.
Let's move on to the Colombian dish. I like this. If you are not from Colombia, but you're used to like maybe an egg and or bacon centric breakfast, it feels new. You're so used to maybe like toast or hash browns with your eggs. This is a great change of pace if you've never had this before. I love this. I also love that the eggs are deeply flavorful and they've got some vegetative quality to them. It's nice.
The eggs are great. Everything that's combined into the eggs really elevates.
I definitely like this. Like presentation wise, it's terrible, but it probably tastes great. And I mean, let's be honest, it's way better than just a fucking croissant and a cappuccino. Let's be real.
It's past the very basic scrambled eggs.
The egg and the
Let's be
pepper
real.
mixture, it's really working for me in ways that other dishes haven't so far.
It's voting time. 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
What?
The eggs
What?
are great, but you know, it's just eggs. When you're on the streets of France, you're walking down and it's like 5 in the morning, you just smell
Just eggs. It's just a fucking croissant. What are we talking about? Revoke this man's fat card, okay? He is not allowed to enjoy food ever again. This is a hot take.
all those buttery croissants that hits like nothing else. That's
Should
why
have
it
been an
just takes a slight
easy
edge.
I
Colombia
have a
W.
report. Just eggs is ignoring the tomatoes, the peppers, the spices, and the soul that went into this delicious Colombian meal. And that's why, frankly, I disagree with you.
I'm in between the two opinions here. The croissant is so unique to France, and there's nothing else like it. So I almost want
There's a lot of things like it. It's just bread. What are we talking about? It's just another variety of a breaded fucking thing that you can eat. There's bagels, croissants, English muffins, there's fucking donuts, there's what are we talking about? Toast. You can have French toast. What are we
wanted to vote for this, but just personally, I enjoyed this one more. That means Colombia moves on to the next round.
On to our next matchup, Vietnam versus Turkey. Vietnam coming in with
Ooh.
pho. Vietnam
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Go back.
Moves on to the next round.
On to our next matchup, Vietnam versus Turkey. Vietnam coming in
Damn. So they just having like lunch for breakfast.
with pho. Vietnam recently did
Ooh.
very well in our other video, where we were looking for which
Interesting.
country has the best sandwich. Now look, although pho is popular in the United States, it's much lesser known as a breakfast item. But we're told by
Yeah.
a few Vietnamese chef friends that in Vietnam, it's a way of life. Lay thinly sliced raw beef on top of your cooked rice noodles, pour over boiling hot broth to cook the beef, garnish with Thai basil, sliced onion, green onion, a little Thai chili, cilantro, braised sliced beef, and finally bean sprouts. Serve and enjoy. Turkey coming in with menemen. We followed this recipe
I don't like bean sprouts. I hate bean sprouts. Well, I don't hate them. I do dislike them though. I've had them in ramen a few times at some ramen restaurants, and they're just not great. They're definitely a net negative to the dish, in my opinion. I'm sure, like for some countries, it's a delicacy, but it just not. It's not for me.
exactly from a YouTube channel, Turkish Food Travel. Thank you for that. You start by sauteing peppers in butter and olive oil, followed with chopped tomato. Season with salt to break that down. Cook it down, roughly crush using a potato masher. Then gently stir in some scrambled eggs and very gently cook till the eggs are just barely
So
set.
similar
You don't
to
wanna
the
overcook
previous
this. Add a little
dish.
cheese on top, optionally. Serve that with bread, and it's that simple.
What should we try first?
This one's giving me a lot more.
Oh man, I actually, you know what? I actually might end up going with this. Just taking some bread, freaking pulling it in there. I mean, it's the same concept as the other dish, right? But like no cheese and no extra seasoning. So it's like, what do we do? Fuck, I might go with this. Because like anything with cheese is already gonna have the advantage for me. I think I'm gonna go with this.
Breakfast energy for me, so I'm gonna get in here first.
That's insane. It got really cold outside, and this feels like such a nice warming presence. This is a great breakfast to start off the day on any day. I
Dude,
didn't know how
it
the
looks
bread was gonna go,
good.
but that soft texture on top of another soft texture wasn't a problem. It was just a really good taste.
Whatever that light green spicy pepper in there, it's like the perfect amount of heat, and also the flavor is a little bit more subtle than a jalapeno.
You got cooked down concassé tomato, essentially, red bell pepper for a little bit of sweetness, and then you have this green pepper that provides an herbaceousness, a little bit more of a vegetable flavor, but then there's the egg, it's custardy, it's juicy, it's cheesy. I mean, it's kind of like everything that you like about many breakfasts in the world in one. But it's funny you bring up needing to warm up because we have a bowl of warm pho, which I would argue is maybe the perfect item for the winter.
This is light, refreshing. I can feel good about going along the day if I had this for breakfast, but the menemen is a flavor punch.
I don't know that I would say this is less flavorful.
Less spicy.
It's definitely less spicy, but I think pho is all about flavor. They're both good in their own right. What do you think? David never came here to taste anything. He came here to eat.
He just
Time to vote.
here to
1,
eat.
2, 3. Wow, unanimous. I'm
Damn.
not saying that this dish is better than this. I'm just saying that this is a better breakfast dish than this.
Yeah, 100%. This is definitely more of a lunch slash dinner dish, and they had me in the first half until the bean sprouts were in there. Then I was like, yeah, all right. Well,
I wish I grew up in Vietnam eating pho for breakfast every day and associated that with breakfast, but unfortunately I didn't, and so this eggy, peppery, bready dish just
yeah, I mean, the minute, I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was gonna try to be a contrarian here, but it's just not a thing.
gave more breakfast energy to me.
Not a
I
thing.
couldn't help it.
I fully agree.
Turkey moves on to the next round. Onto our final round one
Oh,
matchup,
versus the
Brazil
U.S.
versus Australia. Two
Ooh, avocado toast and
places I love, but
oh,
who is gonna make it to the quarterfinals? Brazil with pão de queijo, aka
what is that?
cheese bread. I could eat 1,000 of these, I'm
Cheese
not gonna
bread?
lie. You need an oiled hand to get your dough balls separated. Placed onto a baking sheet, baked at 350 Fahrenheit until they come out rich,
Look at that. Oh, they already got the advantage. It's got cheesy bread,
golden,
bro.
and beautiful. Serve immediately with strawberry jam and
Strawberry jam and what?
black coffee.
Ooh, okay. Oh, yeah, no. This not happening. What the fuck is that? Is that salmon?
Australia with avocado toast. In our recent fast food breakfast video, our friend Andy Cooks said that Australia loves and is known for its breakfast. So Andy's here to describe the Australian avocado toast.
Again, this is like a lunch meal. For like us in the US, this is not something you would eat in the morning.
It has to be avocado on toasted sourdough and a poached egg on top. Soft goat's cheese and a nut seed topping called dukkha, seasoned with salt and seasoned with lemon zest, garnished with micro coriander and served with cold smoked salmon on the side. Back to you, legend.
Andy, we love you. And by we, I mean me. It's funny because this is clearly from Brazil. But to me, when I think of avocado toast, I think of California. So let's try one. The pão de queijo.
I thought this was going to be heavier coming into this, but it's really light. It's airy. I feel like I could eat 3 of them, maybe 4, and this jam that goes with it is a great pairing. I'm not a fan of the coffee. I'm not a fan of any coffee, but that's besides the point. This is great.
Cheese bread and coffee.
Coffee is my life. When I'm not on a contract and I'm at home, I have coffee. But when I am on a contract, I usually just get energy drinks just because it's easier. Don't have to make anything because the place that I live at, right? Um, essentially, I got 2 places. I have a contracted place that I live at and work at, and then I have my home apartment where I basically just becomes a storage unit majority of the year. So, yeah, so when I'm working on a contract, it's just easier because most of the time the places they're not very big. They're probably like the size of a basic hotel room. Um, and I mean a basic hotel room, like like 1-star hotel, not like a fucking, you know, 3-star business class. It's a 1-star sized hotel room that has basically no storage and no places to put things. So I bring my own cart that's got appliances on it. So it's like I got a rice cooker, I got a little like electric flat top plug-ins grill, and then I have an air fryer and a microwave. Oh, and a toaster. So that's all I got room for on that cart. I can't fit anything else, so it's easier just to leave the coffee maker at home and just go buy energy drinks. And I just try to find, the energy drinks that are gonna kill me the least.
Coffee in my head, I'm like, but it's nice.
By far the best part for me is the texture. It's like got almost like a mochi sort of situation where you're like chewing it a little longer, you think, but you're enjoying every moment of it. The jam, the coffee, sweet, not sweet, works just like the boys were saying.
I also like the saltiness that the cheese adds
Mochi texture is interesting.
to the bread. A lot of breads to me are oftentimes undersalted. This is perfectly salted. It's actually one of my favorite breads of all time. This is gonna be a tough battle. That said, avocado toast. I will say, avocado toast is one of my favorite foods on earth, but having it next to the pão de queijo, I don't know.
It's tough. It's light and refreshing as well. It's in a different way. I would not be upset starting my morning with something like that. It's a good texture, it's a good flavor. You know what avocado toast is. It's exactly what you expect.
That's the challenge for me. It's like there's no novelty factor.
I would say like this is like more breakfasty, I guess, because you do have the egg and you can have avocado in the morning. That's like that. It's not a thing that's like a typical lunch thing. But I do know this is like a popular like lunch item. And especially with the salmon's 100% a lunch item. It's not something you would normally eat for breakfast, at least here in the States.
Here. I'm trying to put my brain into objective mode, but it's just saying I've had that before. I haven't had cheesy bread and jam before. That's a new thing. I want to latch on to that.
Now we vote. 1, 2, and 3.
Ooh, Brazil takes it.
Listen, avocado
I
toast
agree,
is
I
great,
agree.
and most times I would want it for breakfast. But one of my problems with it is it's kind of just is what it is. You get bored of it really quick. What I liked about the pau de queijo is on its own it's delicious with jam, but think of all the other things you can do with this. This is such a great base. You know, I don't know if I could say the same thing about this. It's fighting against something that has like how many components on it? This is one.
The flavors they're not similar,
True.
but I'd say they're on like a similar level for me, but the texture of the pau de queijo is just so much higher for me. It's more interesting. It's something I'm gonna be thinking about later today. And you know, after you eat a couple of them, I feel like you're pretty full. I feel like I kind of have to work my way through the avocado toast. Nothing wrong with it. I just prefer the Brazil one a bit more.
Moving on.
Sorry
Fair.
to Australia and our man Andy, but Brazil deservedly takes
Versus
the final
the
spot
full
in the
English?
quarterfinal matchups. Our first matchup of this round is a battle between two heavyweights, Mexico versus the Philippines. Mexico with chilaquiles. This is our top
Ooh. I really don't know if I could eat that often. Occasionally, sure. But I think I gotta go Philippines again.
vote getter. Today we have my rojo recipe, which features guajillo, ancho, and serrano chilies. The recipe's in the description, along with
Oh my god, dude! I grew some serranos last year. They're so good, dude. They're so good.
an even easier variation using a can of chipotles. We sent this recipe to Chef Alejandra at Este, one of the top Mexican restaurants here in Austin, and she gave her stamp of approval. She did mention that she tossed the chips and sauce together in a separate bowl, being careful not to oversaturate the chips to prevent sogginess. Great tip.
I don't know what to do here because if someone were like, Josh, what's your favorite breakfast? It would be one of these two things.
You're in a tough position. I, on the other hand, just want to eat food.
Yeah, it's 100% this one for me. The Philippines, yep, they got it. They got it. It's more of a breakfasty thing. This is less breakfasty.
I'm gonna worry about the rest later.
That's crazy how good that is.
I would like to be baptized in this salsa.
I went on vacation recently, and for 4 days I was out. I had chilaquiles every single morning for breakfast, unapologetically. It is incredible.
We'll get into this.
I don't know. They're so different.
I feel sorry for us having
So
to make
torn.
this decision, but I feel sorry for everyone that can't experience what we're eating right now, because this is incredible.
I don't know what the to do here.
I think we gotta stop thinking and start writing.
All right, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Ooh,
This is
Philippines
not an easy
again.
decision. I thought it would be going into this. I thought it would blow it out of the water, but honestly, like, I couldn't stop eating that garlic fried rice. I couldn't stop eating the longanisa. Even though the chilaquiles, I feel like flavor
Fair, fair. I mean, it's such a tough battle between these two, to be fair. Um, but damn, yeah, that makes sense. Fuck. I'd have a hard time choosing.
wise was a little higher, but this is just such a good balanced breakfast.
For me, it came down to one factor only, these right here. I couldn't stop eating these. If this was on that, whole different story. Despite the chilaquiles being very good, couldn't top that for me.
The way I looked at it was, if I was at a restaurant and I saw both of these on the menu, I would pick this over this every time. Chilaquiles is everywhere, but how often do you see a great Filipino breakfast somewhere? So,
It's not quite everywhere. I mean, it's definitely. I don't know. I don't know where y'all live, but where I live, neither of those exist. What the?
Philippines moves on to the next round.
Our next matchup is the 12th seeded Colombia versus our 4th seeded India. India with masala dosa.
Oh, okay. Already? Probably going with
Breakfast
Colombia
varies
here.
widely depending on where you are in India, but most votes from you went to the masala dosa filled with spiced potato and onion mixture, served with a coconut chutney and sambar, a spiced lentil stew from South India.
Really tasty, wow.
I grew up with this. Masala dosa is such a classic. It has so many good flavors and different options you can choose from while still just being a light vehicle to eat. It's really balanced. There's a lot of good flavors, but it's not too heavy. You can eat that whole thing for breakfast and feel good about it the rest of the day.
It's fragrant, got a little crunch, it's got a little chew. You have the creaminess of the mashed potato. It's a little spicy, it's a little sweet. The accoutrement on the side, just an extra layer of flavor, a little bit of hydration to it, even though it doesn't need it. Not dry at all, really good.
And then when you do the dunk, now half of the crunchy isn't so crunchy anymore. It's a lot going on and it all works together.
But it's going up against a heavy hitter. Will it be enough to overtake Colombia?
Ooh. I don't know. A part of me wants to go with the dish from India, but I actually like have no idea what the flavor profile is for the Indian one. Like this one, I can take the different like veggies and the egg, mix it all together in my head, and kind of come up with a flavor profile for it. But the Indian dish, I got no idea.
This is a tough pick, but it's time. 1, 2, 3.
Ooh, it's unanimous.
Although the Arepa con huevos are delicious, this is just super unique. There's nothing in the world like this. I could eat this every morning.
I could eat it every morning. I could also eat it for lunch and dinner. It's just something that keeps you entertained the whole time you're doing it.
I agree. I've done that, and
Fair.
it's fantastic. You can mix and match what's inside. You can mix and match the accoutrement. It's a great dish.
India moves on to the semifinals against the Philippines. Now to our next quarterfinal matchup, USA versus Turkey. USA, the full American.
Oh, we're doing the full American. Okay. Gotcha. This actually might give the US a decent shot. Hmm. My problem is, yeah, that fuck. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait.
Breakfast. This needs no
I'm gonna wait. I'm
explanation.
not gonna
Big
say
fluffy
anything.
pancakes topped with butter, maple syrup, a plate of bacon, hash browns, and scrambled eggs. It's a timeless staple, but is it really gonna be able to stack up against our contenders today?
I love seeing these two dishes in front of each other because they're so incredibly different.
I mean, a part of me it wants to choose the American breakfast, but like if they're both an option on the menu, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not choosing this. And it's not even for the fact that it's bad, it's just for the fact that I've had it all my fucking life. This is the breakfast that you see around where I live. Okay? This is it right here. All the time. A full American is the only thing you see. But this you never see. So if I had the option, I'm picking this every time.
Funny enough, the American one looks a little anemic just because there's such a lack of color. I like that there's like red and green and peppers and this nice rustic red beautifully in a bowl. It's kind of telling of cultural differences. Should we start with this one, yeah? Jesus, David. You can eat as much as you want after this.
We're making a sandwich.
I will say, there's no combination on earth that's more iconic in the breakfast world than bacon, maple syrup, fresh pancakes. What's more iconic than that? Back to the Minutemen, just to refresh my memory here, all right?
It's so tough because these are classic flavors, but compared to all the flavors we've had today, all these new diverse flavors that I'm experiencing, it doesn't hit the same.
I think I'm getting hit in the head with sweetness and fat, which I do love, but when you introduce other flavors, then suddenly those kind of turn from a bright light to a kind of a gray dullness, you know?
Ready, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You
Yep, that's what I came to too. But like at the same time, like it's hard to choose. It really is. It's hard to choose because like a part of me wants to go with this because it's comfortable. I know what the flavors are here. But this oh man,
unanimous again.
I love both dishes, but the sweetness and the fat
crazy.
just didn't compare to the herbaceousness, the spice of the Turkish dish.
Yeah, this warmed my soul, but this danced on my tongue.
One more thing. Look how fast
Dancing.
this comes together. If you want to make this, you need to cook bacon. You need to cook hash browns. You need to cook scrambled eggs. And you need to cook pancakes. All in separate
True.
pans, by the way. This is kind of a high effort.
All that to lose to a one-pan wonder.
And the one-pan wonder moves on.
A big upset. Turkey continues its journey towards the crown with a triumphant win over USA. On to the quarterfinal matchup, Brazil versus England. Number 2, England with the full English fry-up. We've seen this video before,
Yep.
right? I have a whole recipe for this, and it is that exact recipe, except we did include black pudding and bubble and squeak. We wanted to keep it OG. Onto a large plate. Spoon of generous portion of Heinz beans, separating the rest of the plate with a sausage wall. Lay down your eggs, mushrooms, English bacon, black pudding, bubble and squeak, fried bread. Finish with bruleed tomatoes and some fresh cracked black pepper.
The full English breakfast.
I'm trying to get everything in one bite. That's my strategy here, is build up sort of a Tower of Babel sort of situation.
Jesus.
Now that, guys, I will admit, quite delicious. Getting all the flavors together, it really gives you an appreciation for all the small individual kingdoms of England that came together to make this beautiful dish.
Probably a lot of people died.
Oh, certainly. I think that's mostly what I'm tasting here.
He had the experience of putting everything together and having a great time. I had a great time having everything separate, and it's just as good. There's a lot of components on here. I didn't really touch the beans, but everything else on here is really good individually, and I keep coming back. I think that says a lot about this dish.
I'm one of the most indecisive eaters you'll ever meet. Anytime I go to a restaurant, I will order almost everything off of the menu. That may seem gluttonous, but the
It's kind of crazy because it's like you have everything on one plate and you have almost nothing on the other plate. That's tough.
funny thing is, it's not so much about volume of eating, it's more so volume of choices. And what I love about an English breakfast is it has many textures and flavors and proteins and carbs and starches and crispy and chewy and fatty and juicy and so on and so forth. If I'm going out to breakfast and I order this, I don't need to order anything else.
I live in fear that
True.
my tower of English breakfast will be the best thing I've had today and nothing else will be able to compare, but
It's like the one thing the English have done right is their breakfast. Like that's it. I can't think of anything else.
that's something I'm just gonna have to live with.
Unless we find something better.
Could be Brazil.
1, 2, 3. Unanimous. I mean,
Yep.
it's not really a fair competition. The pão de queijo originally up against the avocado toast was the simple one over the complicated. But in this case, the complicated one because of the variety of choice. And it was
It's
all
so
delicious.
good.
I'm so happy with this. I feel like I could eat this every day.
It goes to show you just when you think you've got it figured out, you don't.
True. On to the next.
Philosophy.
And England takes our final spot in the semifinals. Now it's getting serious with only 2 more matches.
All right, what do we got? We got India in the Philippines. Honestly, India might take it here. I ain't gonna lie. My prediction is India goes to the finals. England goes to the finals, and then man, I don't know who wins from there though. I think I gotta go. I gotta go England, bro. I gotta go with the English on the other side of the pond. I can't. Their breakfast is so fucking good.
Matchups until our final round, starting here with the Philippines versus India.
We are now in the semifinals with 2 incredibly beautiful, unique breakfasts, totally different from any American breakfast. I think we just need to refresh ourselves here.
It's gonna be so hard to beat that.
India.
This is a crazy matchup. They're both flavor powerhouses. I really thought this would be a matter of which one do I want to keep eating, but unfortunately both of them I want to keep eating.
It's also tough to compare because they're really so different. This one has more sweetness, more fragrance. This one has all the spices and aromatics.
And they both have a ton of textures too. They're so different and one and the same at the same time. All right, I have my answer. Whoever wins this could win the whole thing. 1, 2, 3. Whoa!
India. It was a great journey, and I really
It's
feel
an
like it had a
upset.
chance to win the whole thing. But for now,
Yeah, that's like I mean, I can come up with the flavor profile for this dish, but I had no idea what this tastes like, so I don't know.
we move on to our semifinal round, England versus Turkey.
England, you
Oh,
have
boy.
a lot of opportunity to win here because you've got 8+ elements. The Menemen has 2, the dish and the bread. Let's begin. Back to the Menemen. This is tough.
I feel like the texture bar is a lot higher on the English breakfast, but the flavor bar is a bit higher on the turkey breakfast. I feel like the flavor on the English breakfast, it has
True.
a ceiling, but there is a lot to love about the English breakfast.
I'm definitely feeling the fact that we're getting into the finals rounds here, and this is becoming a lot more difficult.
Just remember, whatever you choose, don't worry, you're probably gonna disappoint a whole culture.
if you have an immigrant parent, you're used to that.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be another clean sweep for Turkey.
The
Turkey.
only reason I chose the England one
All right,
was
so there's a double upset there.
simply because there are more combinations on this plate. You're gonna scoop this bread in there 30 or 40 times until you're done. At some point, it's just gonna be the same thing over and over and over. That will not happen with this.
True.
Here's the kicker.
I'm absolutely with him on this. I would have went with the full English.
This was the thing that really sold me. The bruleed tomatoes provide the same effect that this does if you take these tomatoes, the eggs, mix them together, and put it on toast. Now, I'm not saying the flavors are the same, but just texturally, a little bit of tomatoey sweetness, some egg, you can get almost there.
I think I see what you're saying. For me, this is like an amusement park. I'm dipping, I'm diving, I'm combining things in different ways, which is great. But for this, I'm just going on the same roller coaster again and again, but it's the one that goes the fastest, goes the highest, comes crashing down with the peppers, and it turns out I'm an adrenaline junkie when it comes to breakfast.
As
there.
I said before, there's, I think, a bar to where the flavor can go on this one. At a certain point, it hits a limit, and this one, it just keeps going, it keeps building, and I don't get bored of it. Granted, it's like one of the first times I've had it, but I think I'm gonna want it again over and over and over. This has now become one of my favorite breakfast dish. It's a sleeper, and I think it deserves its top spot.
And there it is. Turkey's Menemen battled its way all through.
Crazy.
It takes its rightful place in the final matchup against the Philippines.
We have two underdogs. These were some of the least voted for dishes, and yet both of them made it to the finals.
I'm gonna get in here first. I've given some examination to that. Now the men.
Many,
I have my answer. You guys take as long as you need.
many.
Bro's trying to hit his minimum caloric
Oh my
requirement
God.
today as soon as possible.
Oh my.
This does
Jesus.
not help you make a decision whatsoever, does it?
Now that I've gone into the depths of my piggy nature, I know what I need to do.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, Philippines.
Oh my God!
W Philippines. They went all the way. That's crazy.
The win goes to the Philippines for the best breakfast. So many different cultures, so many different ingredients. Philippines got a deserved win. It climbed all the way from the bottom, all the way to the top, just like Turkey did, which was a very, very
I think it's fair. I still think I would have went with a full English in the end, but this is tough.
close second.
I feasted on both of these meals, and only one dish had pork, and it was sweet pork with garlic rice, with pickles, and all of those sensations. Despite how good the dish from Turkey was, despite me
Wow.
loving every minute of eating it, I had to give it to the Philippines.
There's a winner here, but I think the real winners are us. Both of these were fantastic dishes. Every dish we had was incredible. Really hard decision to make. But at the end, I just had to give Philippines that slight edge because the flavor, the texture combination was just that much higher. But I'm not disappointed at all in our second place choice.
There are many other breakfasts out there. Maybe there is one better than this, but we went off the list that we got from you guys. So thank you for that. Thank you for voting. Congratulations to the Philippines for
Yeah, what a crazy video. That was awesome. Definitely not the one that I chose to win, but you know, so it goes. So it goes. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you guys are as hungry as I am, so I'm not the only one suffering through that. Go to his channel, give him a sub, give him a like, and most importantly, subscribe to yourself. Self love is important these days. Okay, I'm gonna run away now. Okay, bye bye.